Good day. Welcome to online tutorial session for operating system. Today in this session, I will be taking memory management sheet, which is sheet 3. I request all of you, those who have already logged in, the slide which you see onto your screen, please download onto your laptop, okay? Which I have uploaded, you can download onto your laptop. In the previous weeks, we have already completed the first 4 problems. We have completed, let me show you what we have completed previous weeks. Because, yeah. In memory management, already we have finished question 1. Okay, and about logical address space and the physical address space, and we have already completed this memory partitioning algorithms, first fit, best fit, worst fit. Already we have finished it, and we have already finished question 3 and question 4 also. We have checked, or we have seen what is first in, first out, what is optimal algorithm, and least recently used algorithm. And we have seen that first fit algorithm and least recently used algorithms are practical. But optimal algorithm is not practical. It is used only as a reference line for checking which algorithm is good. Okay? So now we will begin with problem 5. Today in this session, we will see problem 5 and problem 6, problem 5, problem 6, and we'll also see problem number 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So today, before I start, I request all of you, those who have just joined, you can download this sheet onto your laptop. Okay. I'm giving you some time. Just do it now. When I switch to another presentation, then you will not have this file to download. So make it fast. And another thing is, I want this session to be a two-way. If you have any questions, you can ask me either through chat message. I see 6 people log in, but no. Blackboard, go to lectures. Okay, there I have already downloaded. Okay. I did. Please refresh again. So I'm sharing my screen with you. Shall I start? Yes, sir. A page in secondary memory is equal to 100 nanoseconds. The time required to access a page in primary memory is 10 nanoseconds. Need to find out the average access time. So I'll use the slider, the pointer, the highlight. Okay. Now, it's given that it's in a page memory. What is the hit ratio? Hit ratio is given as 0.35. Is the given data. And the time required to access a page in secondary memory is given as 100 nanoseconds. Okay. In secondary memory is 100 nanoseconds. Now we need to find out. The time required to access a page in primary memory. Access primary memory. And the time required to access a page in primary memory is 10 nanoseconds is given already. So how do you solve this problem? Okay. Now look here. We know that you have a memory. This is the memory. And memory is divided in frames. Memory is divided in frames. Now, when there is a page reference by the CPU, when the CPU generates a logical address, in logical address is nothing but your logical address is nothing but your page number and offset. Okay. So this is logical address. Now this page number will be looked into the page table. In page table, you will have page number and the frame number. You will look into the page number and frame number, and the page will be fetched from to the main memory. Okay. Now, in order to understand this, remember that if the CPU generates a logical address and it want to fetch a particular page, if that page is already there in the main memory, if the page is already there in the main memory, then we call it as a page hit. Okay. So here, see, this is called page hit. Okay. So hit ratio is given as 0.35. 0.35. I'm writing this with mouse. Okay, so my handwriting is not good. Is don't see the handwriting because I'm using mouse. I'm not using pen. Okay. So another thing is, if hit, there is one more thing that hit means a page is present in the main memory. Means miss page is not present in the main memory. And overall, we know that hit plus miss is equal to 1. Okay, this is 1. So the hit ratio is given as 0.35 and miss is not given. So we can easily identify the miss ratio as 1 minus h. So 1 minus h will be 0.35.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. Any question?
No, it will be 0.65.
Yeah, 0.65 because h is 0.35, m is equal to 1 minus h. Okay. Yeah. Now he has given 2 times here. What are those 2 times? First time is the amount of time taken to fetch from the TM. Okay. So the amount of time to take it from the memory is how much? It means if there is no page fault, if there is a page hit, the amount of time is how much? He has given the page to access in the memory page is how much? 10 nanoseconds. Do you see here? 10 nanoseconds. Okay. So this is 10 nanoseconds. And the other time which is given, suppose if the page is not present in the main memory, it means that the page is present in the secondary memory. That I am calling it as TS. Okay. Time taken to bring it from the secondary memory. So TS is given as 100. Okay, you see here, this is 100. Okay, 100 nanoseconds. So this is 100 nanoseconds. Both are in nanoseconds, but make sure that doctor may give you some in nanoseconds and other may be in milliseconds. So you should be very careful in converting the signs, okay, units. It's very important. So now these times are given. See, 30 out of 100%, 35% it is hit. It means 35% of the pages it will take 10 seconds. Okay, this one. Okay, so 0.35 into 10 plus remaining, that is 1 minus h, which is 0.65, will take how much time? 100 milliseconds. Okay, so that is the solution. Now here it's given already. The hit ratio is 0.35. Then miss ratio is nothing but your page fault. How do you got this as 0.65? Because page fault m is nothing but 1 minus h. Just now I have shown you. So you got it as 0.65. Okay. If you want to find out effective access time, then this is 0.35. Okay, this is 0. Multiply by 10. This is hit. Okay, and miss is 0.65, and this is time taken to get it from the secondary memory. So this is the equation of effective access time. So when you do this, multiply 0.35 with 10, you get 3.5. And 0.65 is multiplied with 100, you will get 65. And when you add them, so therefore, you get total effective access time. Effective access time is equal to how much? 68.5. What is 68.5? It is in milliseconds. Okay, this is milliseconds. So you get the answer as 68.5. Okay. Any doubt from this question? Any doubt?
How that 0.35 is for the primary, and
Yeah.
the 0.65 is for the secondary.
Yeah. Question. Now just go back and see the question here. What is there in the question? You see, to access page in main memory. Okay, main memory is TM. TM is how much? 100. Right? You see here? Yeah, page in main memory. This given Swal. Okay. Next is, you see the secondary memory. Do you see here secondary memory? Right? He has given how much? Correct? Yeah. Your answer.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. Shall I go to the next slide now? Next problem.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's for problem number 6. This is your problem number 6. Let me read that. A virtual memory has a page size of 1 kilowords. Tell me, in 1 kilowords, how many words will be there? 1024, correct? 1024 words. Now, there are 8 pages. So he has given total number of pages are how many? 8. And 4 blocks. Now, let us understand the meaning of 8 pages. 8 pages. Pages means what? Remember, in memory management, you have a process. The process is always divided into pages. The process is always divided into pages. Okay. So total you have 8 pages. Blocks are nothing but memory. Remember always, memory is always divided into frames. This is memory. This is process P, and this is memory. I'm not writing memory and process. I'm writing because I'm using mouse to write it. It's very difficult to write with mouse. Let's say, okay. Now you see here, he has given that the associative page table contains the following entry. It means he's saying that in the associative memory, you have this data given. It means in memory, you have page 0146. Page 0, where it is present? Page 0 is present in frame 3. Now, let us understand. You have this memory. Okay. In this memory, you have like this. You will have here page number, and you have is looking page. Yeah, this is page, and this is frame. Okay. Now it will be written here as page 0. Okay. So this is page 0 present in frame 3. That is block 3. So in memory, you have to go to at 3 and get the frame. This frame is having actually the page 0. Okay. So similarly here, that page 1 is present in which block 1. Okay. Similarly, page 4 is present in second block, and page 6 is present in third block. So now he is asking that this is already given that only these pages are there in main memory. Okay. So total pages are how many? Here given total pages are 8 pages, right? Total pages are 8 pages, but out of 8 pages, only 0, 1, 4, 6 pages are in main memory. Right? And what pages are not there in main memory? 0 is there? Yes. 1 is there? Yes. 2 is there? No, 2 is not there. 3 is there? Yes. 3 is also not there. 4, yes, it is there. 5 is not there. 6 is there? Yeah, 6 is there. 7, no, 7 is not there. 7 is not there. And 8 is also 8 pages means 0 to 7, right? Yeah. So you have 0, 1, 4, 6 pages which are there in main memory, but 2, 3, 5, 7, these are not there in main memory. Okay. So we got this. Now he is asking the question. Come to the question now. Make a list of all virtual addresses in decimal that will cause a page fault. Who will cause a page fault? The pages which are there in main memory already will not cause page fault. So if CPU want page 0, page 1, page 4, and page 6, there is no page fault. Okay, there is no page fault. But if CPU want page 2, page 3, page 5, page 7, this will result in page fault. Okay. So now you see page size, as I've already told you, that total pages are total words are 1 kilowords, means 1024 words. Given as 1 kilowords is equivalent to 1024 words. So total pages you have 8 pages. He has already given in the question. Okay, 8 pages already given in the question. So I write pages from 0 to 7. Okay, and in main memory, what are the pages which are present? Only these pages are present. Correct. So page 0, 1, 2, 1, 4, 6 are present in the main memory. So in page table, you have address of these pages. You see, for this page numbers, page 0, where it is present? Page 0 is present at address 0 to 1023. Why I am writing 0 to 1023? Because the size of the page is 1024, right? See here, the size of page is 1024. The size of page is 1024. Because it is 1024, 0 to 1023 will be 1024, right? So that's why page 0, yeah, I will use ball pen, yeah. Page 0 is having, is starting from 0 to 1023. Now page 1 will start from next address, 1024, okay? Now you add 1024 plus 1023. If you add 1024 plus 1023, then you will get 2047, correct? This is your second row. I will use color, red color, because it will be very good in view. Okay. Now, next is, let's see about page 2. Page 2, next start from where it is ending. Page 1 is ending at 2047. Start from 2048. So please, there is a mistake, please correct it. This is not 2047, this is 2048. Okay, this is 8. Okay, 2048. Now 2048. Now you again add 2048 plus 1023. You will get 3071. So from 2048 to 3071, you have page 2. Right. Now similarly, after 3071, you get the address as 3072. So next page, that is starting from 3072. Again, you add 1023. Now, why you adding 1023? Because it is given that the size of the page is 1 kiloword, which is 1024. Suppose if the size of the page is given as 2 kilowords, then what you will do? 2 kilowords means 2048, means 0 to 2047. So you will be adding 2047 every time. Okay? But because here size of the page is given as 1 kilowords, which is 1024, 1024 is nothing but 0 to 1023. You need to add only 1023 in this case. But in another case, if the size of the page is different, you have to add that size. Okay. Hope you are following me. Now, next page, similarly, you just go on adding 1023, you will get 4096 to 5199. Next address is 5120. 51, again, there is a mistake here. It is only 5120. Okay, is 520 to 6143. Then after 6143, 6144. Okay, to 7167. Then 71682. So this is the page. Now, in this page table, as it is already given in the previous slide, that page 0, 1, 4, 6 are present in the main memory, right? So that's why we have mode bit or present bit here. This present bit. In present bit, we'll write for these pages 0, 1, 4, 6, they are present. 1 means present, 0 means absent. Okay. So 0, 1, 4, 6, you see, this is 0 is 1, 0, and 1 is also 1, 4 is also 1, 6 is also 1. Okay. Hope you are getting me. See here, this 0, 1, 4, 6, they are present in main memory, right? 0, 1, 4, 6. That's why for this block 0, 1, 4, 6, I put 1, 1, 1, and remaining I put bit is 0 because they are not present in main memory. What happens in paging, if CPU want to page 0, okay, it will go to the page table and check the present bit. Tell me, what is the present bit? It is 1. Yeah, it means page is present in the main memory. Suppose CPU want to access page number 1. So it will go to the page table and see what is the present bit. It is 1. Yeah, this is page hit. It means page is present in the memory. Now, if CPU want page 2, now it will go to the page table and see page 2 and present or absent bit is 0. It means page is not present in the main memory. So it will generate a page fault. Okay. So he is asking, what are the pages which generates a page fault? Those who are having bit 0. Okay. Who will generate the page fault? Page faults are generated by those who are having present or absent bit as 0. So only these pages will generate page fault. That's what we have written here. That that page fault occurs if CPU addresses this page number 2, 3, 5, and 7. Okay. I hope you have understood this problem. Shall I go to next problem?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Okay. Now let's go to problem number 7. Yeah. Determine the two logical addresses from the figure below that will access physical memory at hexadecimal address 012AF. Okay. So he is asking us to determine what logical address. We have to find the logical address. Okay. So has given the physical address. Physical memory has given us 012AF. Now you see there are addresses are of two types. Addresses are of two types. Let me just write this on. Yeah. Now you see here, addresses are of two types. Okay. One is called logical address. And second is physical address. Okay. What is logical address? Logical address is the address which is generated by logical addresses are generated by CPU. Okay. These addresses are actual addresses in the main memory. Okay. Always remember that this logical address logical address is having you have page number and you have page number and you have an offset D. Okay, this is logical address. And what is physical address? This is the physical address. Physical address has we have eraser also, you know. Oh, brother, it's gone. Okay, let me draw it again. Okay, you have first a logical address. Logical address. This is generated by CPU. It comprises of page number and page number comma offset. Okay, so just I draw here. This is logical. Yeah, here you have page number, and here you have offset. Offset is represented with D. And then next you have a physical address. Physical address is the actual address in main memory. Okay. It comprises of frame number, comma offset. Remember that this frame and this offset both are same. Offset is same. Only what is the difference? Page number and frame numbers are the different. In logical address, you will have page number, and physical address, you will have frame number. Okay, so let me draw here. Sorry. Rectangle, yeah. And here you will have, okay, this is you have a frame number and you have an, you see DD is same here. Okay, so now what you need to understand is, let me go to the application screen. So let's come back here. He has given the physical address. Physical address means frame number is given and the block is given. That is, frame number is nothing but the block number and offset. So let's go here. See, yeah, as it is shown here. See the logical address. This logical address, and you have a physical address. Okay. Now, logical address is having page number. This page number is again divided into two parts. What is this? This is your page number, segment number and page number. Okay. Offset is nothing but your word number. Offset is nothing but your word number. Okay. Now, physical address is having frame number and number. Frame number and the offset. Frame number here is nothing but your block. Okay. And offset is nothing but your word number. Okay. So now you see here, he has given the physical address. What is physical address? His physical address is 012AF. As he has, you see in the previous slide, he has given physical address is 012AF. Okay. So you have 012AF. What you will do is, the first bits are for block and the remaining bit is for word. Okay. So I take this block 012. Now this block number, when we want to convert this physical address into logical address, this block number needs to be mapped with your segment number. Okay. How you will do that? Sorry. How you will do that? You will do like this. This block number 012, go back to the previous, find it is there in which segment. Okay, 012F. Now you see here 012F. This is the block number. This block 012F, right? Now this block 012 is present in which page? Page 35. Hope you are seeing this. See here, it's present in 35. And now you see this 35 is present in which segment? Segment 6. But to your surprise, you see this block 12 is not present only one time. It is present here also. Right? Check 01953. No, it's present two times. So when it is present two times, so you see here it is present in which page? Page A3. But this page A3 is present in which segment? It's present in F segment. Okay. So now to find the logical address, first you should write segment number. You see, first you write segment number, then your page number, then you write word number, right? So what is the segment first? Let's write down for this. For this, you have 6 as a segment number, 6. Then after this, you have page number. 6 is present in page 35. So you have 35. Okay. Then word number. What is word number? Word number, you can take it from, I told you already that word number is same. Offset is same for logical address and physical address. We just write AF. AF. Okay. So 635 AF, you got one address. Second address is FA3 AF. That's what we have done. You see, that's what we have done here. That block 012 is present in two pages, 35 and A3. But 35 is present in segment 3, A3 is present in segment F. So what do you get? You get two logical addresses. One is 635 AF and FA3 AF. So these are the two logical addresses for a given physical address. Understood? The solution is very simple. When physical address is given, this is the physical address given. When this physical address is given, you have to see that this is present in 012 block is present in which page? So page 35 and page A3. You have to find out that this page is present in which segment number. Which segment number? You just find out and just write logical address from segment number to page number to word to get the solution. Okay. So understood, all of you? Any questions? Any questions? I didn't hear anyone. Any questions? Shall I proceed for next? Okay. Asad Saleh. Shall we go for next? Okay. So I'm going for next problem, problem number 8. Let's go to problem number 8. Yeah, the logical address space in a computer system consists of 128 segments. Each segment can have up to 32 pages of 4 kilowords in each. Physically consists of 4K blocks and 4K blocks of 4K words in each format, the logical and the physical address formats. This is a very important question and very easy also. See, he has given first logical address. Okay. Logical address. We know just now we have seen logical address is nothing but segment number, okay, plus page number plus offset, okay, and physical address is nothing but frame number or block number B plus offset is D. Okay. Now he has given that a computer system has 128 segments. So let us first realize here logical address. We have a logical address is equal to, okay. So I write, this has 3 parts. One part is segment number and another part is page number and offset. Now he is saying that there are 128 segments, correct? Now tell me 128 segments means how many segments you have? You have to write in 2 per 7. Can you write 2 per 7 as 128? 2 per 5 is 32. 2 per 6 is 64. 2 per 7 is 128. Yes, I can write. So it means 2 per 7 is, it means here I can have 7 bits per segment number. Okay. And he has given that each segment can have up to 32 pages. 32 pages. So I can I write 32 pages as 2 per 5? Yes. So page numbers, it will take 5 bits here. Okay. And he's saying that 4 kilowords in each. So offset size is 4 kilo. 4 kilo means how can I write? 1 kilo is 2 to the power of 10. 4 is 2 square. So this is 2 square into 2 to the power of 10. Okay. How much it will be? 2 to the power of 12. So you need 12 bits here. 12 bits. Okay. So when you get the 12 bits, now this is your logical address. 1, 5, and 12. Okay. Then in physical memory, he's also asking to format the physical addresses. So in physical address, you know that this is segment number, this is page number, and this is offset. And if you go for This you have only block number and D. See, D is same. So both of them, this D and this D both same. So I write just this is 12. Okay. Now let us find out what is B. 4 blocks. He is saying that physical memory consists of how many blocks? 4 kilo. 4 kilo can I write as 2 power 12? And 1K is 2 power 10 and 4 is 2 square. Okay. So this is the logical and physical address formats. Now see, this question is very easy, but doctor in examination he may give you, for example, physical address, this is 12 and 12. In logical address, he will give you only segment and D. He will not give you P. Okay. So you can find out very easily because 7 plus X plus 12 is equal to 24. You can find out that is equal to 24 minus these things. You will get 5 answers. Okay? So I hope you have understood this problem. Now you see I am explaining. Logical address is segment and page number. Physical address is block and word number. So segment size is 128. I can write it as 2 per 7. Okay. 32, I can write 2 per 5. Word size is 4K, I can write 4 into 1024, which is 2 per 12. So segment, page, and word, I can do formattings as 7, 5, 12. This is what we have got here. Okay. Then next, okay, in block it is missing. So please write here for block, this is 12 and 12. Missing here. 12 and 12. Okay. And it is for here also blocks, number of blocks. Okay, please add that. Okay, the solution is incomplete and make those steps available. Hope that's the answer. You might have understood. Shall I move to next problem? Or you have any questions for this problem? Shall I go for next problem?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let's go to problem number 9. See, this is problem number 9. This is same as problem 5. Do you remember? Hit plus miss is equal to 1. The same thing, but here you have page fault time also. So he has given the rule that let P be the probability. Let P be the probability of a page fault. So probability always, you know that it lies between zeros and ones. Okay. So we expect P to be close to 0. That is, there will be only few page fault. So P should be less than 1. But if the value that lies between 0 and 1, if the value P is very less, it is good system because less page fault. If P is more, then a lot of page means you are wasting a lot of time in doing page faults. Okay. So he has given that the effective address time is given by this formula. Okay, 1 minus P means this is hit. Memory access time for memory. MA is amount of memory, amount of time taken to access memory. Okay. P means this is miss, page fault. And how much page fault time is? He has given the formula. Depending on this formula, he has given that an average page fault service time of 25 milliseconds. So he has given page fault service time means he has given this time. Okay. 25 milliseconds is given as this, and a memory access time of 100 nanosecond is nothing but here MA. This is given. Okay. This is given. Find the effective address in nanoseconds. Okay. So you just substitute these values here, but make sure that there is one important change. Here the units is given in seconds, okay, and here it is given in milliseconds. So make sure either you convert all of them into milli or convert all of them into nano. Let us convert all of them into milli. Okay. So now you see effective access time is 1 minus P into MA. What is MA? Yeah, you see MA is 100 nanoseconds. 1 minus P into 100. This is in nanoseconds. Plus, okay, what is P? P into page fault time is 25 milliseconds. 25 milliseconds. Okay. Now remember, here this is this value it is in nanoseconds, and this is in milliseconds. So I have to convert this milliseconds into nanoseconds. How? So 1 milli is 10 to the power of minus 3. Okay. So this is 25 milli. 25 milli. How can I convert nano? Nano means 1 nano is 10 to the power of minus 9. So I can multiply and divide by 10 power minus 6 by 10 power minus 6. Okay. When I do this, you see what happens. Let's change the ink color to red now. You see 10 power minus 3 and 10 power minus 6. When you add, it will become 10 power minus 9. This will become nano. Correct? So same nano. But 10 power minus 6, it comes up, 6 zeros will add here. That's why I get 6 zeros here. 25 into 6 zeros. So all this now in milliseconds. Okay. All is in milliseconds. You have to just simplify it. How? 1 minus p into 100 means 100. I just write. You see here, 1 into 100 is 100. Okay, minus 3 into 100. Okay, plus 25, 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros into p. Okay? Into p. Now 25, 6 zeros. You subtract minus 100. Okay, this 100 is same as it is, which you have got here. And when you subtract, you will get remaining value in terms of p. So this is the effective access time. Okay. Hope you have understood this problem. Shall I go for the next problem, or do you have any questions?
Yes, go for the next.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's go to problem number 10. This is the last problem. Okay. So, but this is very important to understand. Let us consider a demand paging with a page test that has an average access time of, you see, has given average access time. Average access and transfer time of 20 milliseconds he has given. Okay. And addresses are translated to a page table in main memory with an access time of, you see, 1 microsecond memory access. One memory access is taking how much? 1 microsecond. This is given. Now, when CPU generates a logical address, first it has to go to the page table. Page table is in main memory. In memory, it will get the address of the page, the frame. It has to go again to the main memory. So it will take 2 references. It is given that each memory reference through the page table takes 2 accesses. Okay. Now, to improve time, we have introduced. Improving time, we have introduced TLB, translation look aside buffer, or associative memory. This is called associative memory. Now, this will improve time and restrict to only 1 memory access. So I will ask you one question. Tell me, if you are going through page table to a memory reference, it will take how many memory references? 2. Okay. But if you are going through TLB, okay, translation associative memory, then it is taking only 1 memory reference. Okay, remember this. Now he's saying that 80% of the time these references are present in the TLB. It is there in the cache memory. And 10%, that is 2% of the remaining, are false. What is the effective access time you have to find? Now, first with the diagram, I will show you. Look here. This is the given data. You see, average access time of disk is given as 3 milliseconds. For one memory access, it is taking 1 microsecond, but each memory reference through page table is taking 2 memory references. Okay. So one memory reference is taking 1 microsecond. Reference will be 2 memory access is nothing but 1 microsecond plus 1 microsecond. So I get total of 2 microseconds. Okay. Through page table. Without page table, only 1. Now look here. Let us first see this diagram. Okay, in this diagram, you see CPU is generating logical address. CPU is generating logical address. Logical address is nothing but page number and offset. Okay. Now this is TLB, associative memory. Just now what we have discussed here. See, this is associative memory. Okay, associative memory. Now here directly you have address of page. Okay, in form of frame where is there in the main memory. So it will take only one memory reference. That's all. So if there is a TLB hit, this is called if CPU want to access page P and this page P is present in associative memory, then we call it as a TLB hit. Remember this terminology. If CPU want a page P and the page P is present in associative memory, then it is called as TLB hit. And TLB hit takes only 1 microsecond. Okay, as given in the question. Suppose CPU want to get a page and that page is not present in TLB. We call it as TLB miss. So TLB miss is this case. If there is a TLB miss, what happens? If there is a TLB miss, this happens. Color. Right, okay. If there is TLB miss, this will happen. Okay, CPU generates and page is not present in associative memory, so it will go and check in the page table. Again, in page table there are two chances. In page table, maybe the present bit is 1 or it may be 0, right? There are two chances. If the present bit is 1, it means there is a page hit. Remember, this is called page hit. I repeat, in first case, in yellow case, you see here, this case, if a page is present in associative memory, we call it as TLB hit. If the page is not present in associative memory, we call it as TLB miss. If there is TLB miss, you will come to this case, red case. In red case, in case of TLB miss, again there are two chances. If this page is present in page table, if the page is present in main memory, okay, it has to first check in the page table and from page table it will go to the memory. It will take two references. Okay, then it is called as page hit. Okay, suppose the page P is not present in main memory, then it is called page miss. That is called page fault. Okay, so now we have three cases here. Case A, CPU want a page and page is present in associative memory. This is called TLB hit. Case A. Case B, okay, what if the page is not there in associative memory? This is called TLB miss. In case of TLB miss, you will check that whether this page is present in main memory or not. If it is there in the main memory, we call it as page hit. If it is not, then it is called page fault. So you have these three scenarios, three situations. For these three scenarios, we need to find out the effective access time, how much it will take. So now here, look, effective access time, he has already given in the question. What he has given, 80% of the time there is that the page is present in the main memory. It means, in associative memory. It means 80% of the time it is TLB hit. It means 20% of the time it is TLB miss. Understood? So I go here. See, 80% of the time it is TLB hit, and it means. So please write here. This is TLB hit. It is TLB hit. TLB hit, and 20% of the time TLB miss. Okay. Now, for hit, it is taking only 1 microsecond. So 80% means I write 0.8 into how much time? 80% of the time it is taking only 1 second. This is understood, right? 20% of the time it is taking. If it is miss, it will take 2 memory accesses, right? So 1 plus 1 seconds. So just I write this 2 here and 0.2, that is 20%. Yeah, that is here. This simple mathematics. Okay. So 2 microseconds and 20% of the time miss. So in case of hit, it is taking only 1 microsecond. In case of miss, it is taking 2 microseconds. But here's again, you see the problem. Here again, he has told that 10% or 2% of the total causes page faults. So again, I told there are 3 situations, right? 3 scenarios. First scenario, TLB hit. Okay, we did this. Second scenario, TLB miss. In TLB miss, again, there are 2 scenarios. One is page hit, and this is fault. This is TLB hit, page fault scenario. In TLB hit, 1 microsecond, we understood this. Then 2 times, now you see in TLB miss, there are 2 scenarios again. But saying that 2% or 10% of the remaining or 2% of the total. So you take 2% of the total or 10% of the remaining. 10% of the remaining is 2.2, right? It is going for 2% is for page fault. 2% is going for page fault. Okay, and 18% is page hit. Is not miss. This is page, not TLB hit. This is page hit. PH. Okay, page. This is page fault. Now, let's move further. Yeah, look here. You have 0.8 into 1 microseconds plus just from here. You see 0.8 into 1 microsecond plus 2 into 0.18 plus 2 into PF. PF is how much? It is given as 20 milliseconds. It's given in the problem. Page fault ratio. Just I will show you here. Yeah, here. Can you check here? See, 20 milliseconds. Okay, as given. Average access and transfer time. Transfer means when there is a page fault, the page has to be transferred from secondary storage to the main memory. It takes 20 milliseconds. So now you have this is understood. This is 0.8 into 2 plus this is 0.2% means 0.02 into. Now you see memory accesses plus 20 microseconds, 20 milliseconds. Now you will convert this milli into micro. How? Millions 10 power minus 3. Again, I multiply and divide by 10 power minus 3. Then I will add 3 zeros to 20. So 20,000 I will. Okay. So I get 20,000 plus 2. All are in microseconds. Then 0.8 plus 2 into 0.18 is 0.36 plus 0.02 into 2002. Now when you multiply this, you 4000.04 plus this and add all of them. You add all, you get answer effective access time as 401.20. Okay. So this is the end of the sheet. Okay, I think for this section, I have not taken the 4th problem. So I will take the 4th problem now about page faults. Okay, so let me share my screen with you. Now this cancel. Okay. Yeah, are you able to see my screen? about page fault algorithms. Okay. Hope you're able to see the screen. Question number 4, I think we missed out in the previous recorded lecture, so I'll be completing it now. See, how many page faults occur in the following reference string with 4 page frames? Okay, and he has given the reference string. When you count it 1, 2, 3, 4, I have just written the entire reference string here. Okay, so if you count, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22. So length of the reference string is 22. Okay, so just note down a few important points that the length of reference string is 22. And second is, consider the following page replacement algorithm. There are 3 algorithms given, and also you see he has given 4 frames. If 4 frames are given, do you see I have to take these 4 frames, frame 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if he has given 3 frames, then you have to solve it for 3 frames. I'm solving for 4 frames. Depending on the question, you have to solve. I've given you an example of if there are 3 frames, then you have to write your reference string like this, and you have to try to solve your problem in this way. Okay, so now let's first start with first in first out algorithm. Okay, according to this algorithm, first in first out algorithm, which says that the page frame which is there for the longest amount of time in the main memory is the candidate page for replacement. Okay, so initially you see all the page frames are empty. So when page 1 comes, you see is 1 is present here, it's not there, so it's a page fault. So I'm just sticking like this for page fault, and I will load this one into the main memory. Okay, yeah. Then next you see we have another frame 2. Tell me, is 2 is here? It's not there. What happens? This is also a page fault, and 2 is loaded into the main memory. So 1 is already there, 2 will be loaded into the main memory. The next 3 is also not here. This is also a page fault, and 3 will be loaded into the memory, but already you have 1, 2, and 3 will be loaded here. So up to 4 steps, this is cool. You see 4 is also not there. Again, it is a page fault. Okay, so now 4 will be loaded into the main memory, and you know that 1, 2, 3 are there right from the beginning. See, up to here there is no problem, but the problem comes from page, when the page 5 comes. You see 5 is not here. Okay, 5 is not here, so it is a page fault. But I don't have any 5th frame so that I can write 5 here. I have only 4 frames, so I have to select one page as a candidate for replacement. According to the first in first out, tell me who came first. 1 came first, so 1 is the candidate for replacement. So 1 will be removed. Instead of 1, I put 5, and remaining are say 2, 3, 4. Okay, now similarly you see 3 is there. Okay, 3 is already there, so there is no page fault. So I just you can just write like this, repeat it, 5, 2, 3, 4, but don't tick it here because there is no page fault. 3 is already there, 4 is also already there, so don't tick here. It will just copy here. If you can copy, if you don't want to copy, you can skip that, but to avoid confusion, I'm just copying it. If there is a page fault, I will put tick like this. Okay, now you see again 1 is not here, so again it is a page fault. So who will be which is the candidate for replacement? You see 2 is there for the longest period of time, right? So 2 will be selected as a candidate as a replacement. So 2 will be replaced with 1, and remaining 5, 3, and 4 are copied. Then 6, there is again a page fault, but this time 3 is a candidate of replacement. Okay, see, and remaining just you copy. And 7 is also a page fault. Then candidate for replacement is 4, so 7 will be there, and I just copy here 6, 1, and 5. Okay. Then next come 8. Again 8 there is a page fault. If there is page fault, who will be? You see 7 is newest. Oldest is 5 now. You see. Yeah, 5 is the oldest, so 5 will be candidate for replacement, and remaining I just repeat. Similarly, you have 7, but 7 is already there. There is no page fault. 8 is also there. There is no page fault. I just copy this 8, 8, 1, 1, 6, 6, 7, and 7. Then 9 is the page fault because there is no 9. But who will be selected? You see, 8 is only this. 1 is the longest, right? Was available for long time in the memory. So 1 will be candidate of replacement. So 9 will come here, and 8, 6, 7 will be copied. See, 7 and 8 both are there here. 9 is also there. Okay, up to here there is no page fault. So I just copy the same 8, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 6, 6, 6, 7, 7, 7. 7 is there, 8 is also there, 9 is there, but 5 is not there. So it's a page fault. What is a candidate for replacement? You see who is for the longest time? 8. No, 9 is here. 6. You see 6 is the longest. It's longest than 7 also, right? So 6 is the candidate for replacement. So 5 will come here. Remaining 9, 8, and 7 I just copy. Again 4 there is a page fault. Then which page is candidate for replacement? You see 7. Okay, 7 is there for the longest period of time. So 7 will be replaced with 4, and remaining 5, 9, 8 are copied. Again you see 5, 4 there is no page fault, so they just repeat it because 5 is also there. You see 5 is also there, 4 is also there, so we just copy the remaining pages. But 2 is not there. There is a page fault. But which is candidate for replacement? So in this case, I think 8 is a replacement. So 2 will come here, 9, 5, and 4. Now, here you need to find out number of page faults. So you write therefore number of page faults is equal to, just count this number of ticks: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 13. And there is one more thing called page fault ratio. Page fault ratio. How do you find out the page fault ratio? Page fault ratio can be calculated. Page fault ratio can be calculated by total number of page faults by total number of size of the reference string, which is 22. Okay, so when you do 13 divided by 22, can you use calculator and tell me how much is it? 13 divided by 22 is 59.09. So it means nearly approximately you are getting 59% is the page fault ratio. Okay, so this is about first in first out algorithm. Okay, so just save it. For its FIFO. Now let's go for another algorithm called optimal algorithm. Now I'll be showing you this optimal algorithm. in optimal algorithm, remember one thing, this is not practical. It is always this optimal algorithm is good, but it is not practical because we don't know the future. This optimal algorithm will look into the future. That's why this is not practical, but we can use this algorithm as a reference line for comparing that which algorithm is good. Okay, so now I will show you. Look here, up to 4 steps, this is same. Okay, for example, this is page fault 1, 2, 3, 4. All these are the page faults. Okay, here you have 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, and this is 4. Okay, up to here you have 4 page faults. Now for 5 also, you see 5, there is a page fault. But which is the candidate for replacement? You see, if there are 4 page frames, so you have to see next 3. Next 3 are 1. Next 3, you see 3, 4, 1. So this 3 and 4 and 1 should not be replaced. It means 2 should be replaced. Okay, so I select 2 as a candidate for replacement, and 1, 3, 4 I just copy as it is. Next, you see, because in future you have 3, 4, 1. So 3 is already there, 4 is also already there, 1 is also already there. So I don't get any page faults up to next 3 page frames. So I just repeat up to here 1, 5, 3, 4. But when 6 is come, 6 is not there, there is a page fault. Okay. When there is a page fault, again you look into the future, you see 7, 8, 9 should not be replaced, but you don't have any one of them, 7, 8, 9. So you should have to go and look in the future, you see what is coming again. 5 is coming, 4 is coming. It means this 5 and 4 should not be removed. You can remove 1 and 3. Now the question arises, okay, if there are 2 candidate page replacement, which should be given priority? So remember, in case of tie, okay, use FIFO, first out. Okay, so it means, you see, I should not replace 5 and 4. They are coming in future, so I should not replace 5 and I should not replace 4. Means I can replace 1 or 3. In 1 and 3, who is FIFO? According to FIFO, 1 is the candidate for replacement. Okay, so 6 will come here. 3 will just repeat like this. Now similarly, you see page fault is what? 7. 7 is also not here, so there is a page fault. Again, in future 5 and 4 are coming, so don't remove 5 and 4. So you can remove 6 or 3. In 6 and 3, again, you see there is a tie, use FIFO. According to the FIFO, 3 is candidate for replacement. So 7 will come and sit here. And 6 gets repeat. Okay. Then next 8. You see 8 is not here. Okay. So there is a page fault. But don't remove 7, 8. 5. Okay. Don't remove 7 and 5 and 4. Because 7 is coming in future, 5 is also coming in future, and 4 is also coming in future. So 5, 7, 4 don't remove. So don't remove 5, 7, 4. It means you are removing 6. Instead of 6, put 8. You see 7 is already there, 8 is also already there. Okay. So no page faults, no differences. So I just copy all of them. Now at 9, you see 9 is not there, it's a page fault. It's a page fault. Don't remove 7, 8, 9, 5, 4. You see 7 I should not, 8 I should not remove, 5 I should not remove. See, all are there in the future. 8 is also there in the future, 5 is also there in the future, 7 is also there in the future, 4 is also there in the future. It's a problem. Now, all are there, I should not remove anything. No, it's not like that. You see, first who nearest in the future, don't remove that. You see 7 is nearest in the future, don't remove 7. So I put 7. Next 8 is the after 7, 8 is in the near future, so don't remove 8 also. Then 9 is the 9 is not there. Here, unfortunately, 9 is not there. Next, 5 is there. So don't remove 5 also. So it means don't remove this 857. Automatically, 4 should be removed. So 9 will come and sit here. Okay. Then next, you see 7 and 8. Both are 7 and 8 both are there. So there is no page faults. I just copy this. 8, 8, 5, 5, 7, 7, 9, 9. Okay. Because 7 is also there. Yeah, 9 is also there. So I just copy again. 8, 5, 7, 9. No page fault. Now 5, yeah, 5 is also there. No page fault. So you see, it is giving you less number of page faults. It's a good algorithm. But then comes 4. 4 is not here, so there is a page fault. If there is page fault, I should not remove 5 and 4. But in future, from future, I have only 5. It means I can remove, I should not remove only 5, means I can remove 8 or 7 or 9, anything. So again, I use FIFO. When you use FIFO, you see who is longest. 8 is up to here, but 5 seems to be more longest. You see, 5 is very longest. Yeah, so 5 will be, 5 should not be removed because 5 is coming in the future. So you see, if FIFO, we have to check FIFO for 8, 7, and 9. 8 is this much bigger, and 7 is still more bigger than 8. Okay? It is bigger means it is more longer time in main memory. So this is a candidate for replacement. 7 is a candidate of replacement. So 4 will come here. Meaning I will just copy. Again, 5, 4 already there. No page fault. So I just repeat this in the strings. 5, 5, 4, 4, 9, 9. Now again, 2. There is a page fault. But here you see there is no future here. No future. Then who will be, what is a candidate for replacement? Because you have no future here, you will see FIFO again. Okay. So it means according to the FIFO, you see 8 is up to here. Okay. Yeah, 5. 5 is the longest period of time. So 5 will be removed. So 2 comes here. 8, 4, 9. Okay. So therefore, we can write total number of page faults is equal to how much? Count the sticks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 divided by 22 is nothing but 50, sorry, 11 page faults. You get 11 page faults. Now page fault ratio is 11 by 22 is equivalent to 50%. Okay, this is a page fault ratio. So hope you have understood this. Any questions? Before I have this is optimal. We got some question. Okay, great. So let's go for the last problem. Where are you? Okay. So I think by mistake I saved it. So we need this optimal. Just a minute, I will copy the new problem now. So we have 4 page frames, right? Yeah. So, just a minute. So Control V, just put it here. Okay. So we have to find out the page faults and also page fault ratio. Okay. Okay. So let me save as with which algorithm? LRU. Okay, according to the least recently used algorithm, the least recently used algorithm. Let's see how we can solve this. Now, least recently used algorithm is same as optimal, but the difference is optimal will look into the future. Okay, but LRU will look into the past, so it will see in the past. Okay, if there is no past, use FIFO. Now see here, up to here, this is same. That up to 4 page, up to 5 you have page faults. This is 1, this is 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now page 5 comes, then there is a page fault. Okay, you just see in the past. Okay. So when you see in the past, don't remove 4, 3, and 2. Means remove 1. So 5 will come here. 2, 3, 4. The next comes, you see 3. 3 is already there. 4 is also already there. So 3 and 4, no page faults. So I just repeat 5, 2, and 3 for 2 page frames. But now again 1 comes. When 1 comes, don't remove 3, 4, and 5. So don't remove this 3, don't remove this 4, and don't remove this 5. Means automatically I'm removing 2. Okay, so 1 will come and sit here. 6, again 6 is not there. There is a page fault, but don't remove 1, 4, 3. So don't remove 1, 4, and 3. Means I'm removing 5. 6 will come and sit here. 7, there is a page fault. Okay, don't remove 6, 1, 4. 6, 1, 4, don't remove, means I'm removing 3. 7 will come and sit here. Now 8, there is a page fault. Don't remove 7, 6, 1. 7, 6, 1, I'm not removing. It means I'm removing 4. It is replaced with 8. See, 7, 8, 7, 8 is already there. So I repeat, there's no page fault for next 2 references. So 1, 1, you got 7, you got 8 here. Okay. Now 9 is not here, so there is a page fault. But don't remove 8, 7, 6. 8, 7, 6. I'm not removing. It means I have to remove 1 and replace it with 9. Again, 7 is there, 8 is also there, 9 is also there. Okay, so there is no page fault up to next 3 page reference strings. So I just repeat this, say 3 times, because there is no page fault here. 7, 7, 7, and 8, 8, 8. Okay. But 5, see 5 is not here, there is a page fault, but don't remove 9, 8, 7. 9, 8 and 7 is not removed. 5. And 4, there is a page fault, but don't remove 5, 9, and 8. 5, 9, 8. 4 will come here. Then again 5, it's already there. 4 is already there. So the 5 is already there. 4 is also already there. It repeats. So there is no page fault. But 2, there is a page fault. But who is candidate for replacement? You see in the past 4, 5, and 9. Okay, 4, 5, and 9 are not removed. It means I have to remove 2. I have to remove 8, replace it with 2. Okay. So total page faults just this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The 13 page faults. My page fault ratio is 13 by 22. Again, I think you'll get nearly 79% of the page faults. So in this case, accidentally or unknowingly, we got same page faults in FIFO and LRU. But generally, this is not the same in all the problems. Okay, you will get different page faults in FIFO and LRU, and always less number of page faults in optimal algorithm. Okay. So with this, we have completed this sheet. If you have any questions, please ask. Is it clear? Okay, so I'll stop the lecture here and continue in the next session. Okay.